Hello, good morning. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahima Suri Balde. Yes, so we are back again on another edition of this special program, this morning. So wherever you are, thank you very much for always tuning in. We are proud of you, our viewers, and of course, you are always willing, using your data, to, watch this program or tuning into your satellite receivers to be able to see this program. And thanks to our brother Ibrahim Jawara in the United States of America, the land of opportunity. It's good that you always tune in and also send your comments. I am here with Julden Jai. She's in red. Mom nak lum so rek mu jàpp ko. Red and glittering.
Thank you, Balde. Good morning to you. Good morning to our viewers. It's always good to be back.
Yes, it's good to be back here. Tell Mr. Sabali we are in August, and August, you know what August means? You know what August is?
He knows?
He knows what August is in the Gambia.
Yes.
So the financial flow is in the middle.
Yes.
It's not going up, it's not coming down. So August is Augusting.
I don't think it's Augustine Day.
Yeah, so it's good to have you, Julde. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
Good.
okay, alhamdulillah.
Nice. So how have you been? How are you managing the rains, juggling, with Ibrahima? You make sure you take care of Ibrahima and at the same time taking care of your work, your household jobs, all those things.
It's not easy, especially with Ibrahima, because I'm really careful, especially now that, the environment, it's not conducive enough. And, floods everywhere. So I'm particularly concerned about Ibrahima. But aside from that, yeah, I think I'm fine.
Yeah, I think you get used to certain things, how to juggle certain things. It's a
right.
matter of getting used to it. Mr. Adedrame, good morning. Our newspaper review guest. You looking 17 today. What's happening?
Looking 17 and feeling 71, but
You're 71 already?
No, I'm not. I'm 70. But yeah, it's interesting. Couple of things about Ibrahima. We've met Ibrahima, of course, Jules. He's a very inquisitive young man. He's bright. He's very sharp, and he's very inquisitive. So you're right. You have to be very, very careful. Keep an eye on him and whoever is with him, because he's always looking at things and looking for things. And so, yeah, definitely, this is a time when you have
Absolutely.
to
So
keep
how
your eyes
is
open.
the rains going, Mr. Ade?
Well, I've been in the habit recently. Last night, for example, I was caught in a very, very heavy downpour. So what I tend to do these days is, about 100 meters from my house, I start filming the downpour and the fact that what is supposed to be the gutter isn't guttering at all. The water is just gathered there.
It's
like
a swimming
lake.
pool.
It's like a lake, yeah, honestly, like a swimming pool or a lake. And so, yeah, yesterday was particularly heavy. There was thunder, there was lightning. And from about 2 a.m. till I left the house this morning, there was no electricity. So,
Wow.
Cold shower again. But yeah, so yeah, the rains
Oh,
have not been kind.
you did cold shower, right?
I actually, if you've asked me a very interesting question, I have cold showered for the last 6 years.
Mr. Ade, I had
And that's the truth.
I cold showered for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I experience, hot shower is when I boil water.
When you go to a hotel. When you went to Turkey.
When I was, okay, you are right. For most of them,
Yeah.
all their taps are hot and cold.
I wasn't cold. You just
You know,
regulate it.
So
Yeah.
it's easier, But
No, I cold showered for 6 years. So it's
there's
understood.
benefit in cold shower. That's what I heard.
But for some reason, it felt particularly cold this morning. I don't know if it's my imagination.
It is cool.
Because I don't have there's no electricity where the showers are. So that's the reason.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah. Yesterday I
just had
almost
got used
cancelled
to it.
showering in the morning. I almost cancelled it. because-
I know that temptation. I know that temptation. But but other than that, it's good to be back here.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
so
to be
we are back, and of course, we'll take a look at the African code, then the newspaper review, and then the Bakers Union success and challenges. We'll also be looking at Front Star Driving School, driving with responsibility, you know, he will be here.
We know people who have taken their driving lessons and their tests with them, and they've always been very impressed. And the reason we kind of mention them is because the country still has too many accidents because of the proliferation of people who should not be on the road. They didn't take a proper test. They didn't, you know, they should not. If they had a conscience, they wouldn't be driving. But people don't care. Selfishness. And so you see a lot of the accidents are people who don't know how to handle a car properly. You know? So yeah, it would be good to. I'd definitely be listening to that one.
He would be here, and I believe we'll talk about defensive driving as well.
Amongst other things, of course. Yes, I would hope so.
So Julia, let's move with the proverb.
So our proverb is a Yoruba one. I think we had this proverb
before.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, we have. The barking of the dogs does not make the sheep look up. Yeah, we did.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mbuj was here.
Mr. Mbuj, I was going to say it wasn't. It was not I, because I don't recall it.
It doesn't make the sheep.
The barking of the dogs does not make the sheep look up. I think we have to give this to you, Balde, to kick start.
Well, when you consider the relation between the sheep and the dogs, I don't think it's a very friendly relation. I mean, I think it's just like between the antelope and the hyena or the lion. You know, that's what I think. So the sheep not looking up, I think the sheep is also entering into a danger zone, because if the dogs are many, at some point it can be danger. You know,
yes, because it says not singular, it says dogs.
Dogs.
Many.
So, you know, the sheep really should be looking up. So I don't know what my Yoruba people mean by this one at all.
Maybe you would have said the barking of the dogs doesn't make the lion look.
Yeah, but sheep.
A lion, maybe you can put in place an animal that is a bit aggressive than the dog or something. That's what I think, but not a sheep. A sheep is not aggressive. Even a monkey can kill a sheep.
Does the dog has any powers whatsoever on the sheep?
Yes, in some countries, in the West, for example, they actually use what they call sheepdogs, and they round up the sheep. So when somebody has 100 sheep, they can't be bothered. They have what they call trained sheepdogs, and they go bah, 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 and they round them up, and they even have huge competitions where you win big financial prizes for your sheepdog being able to, you know, maneuver them between certain obstacles and so on. So yeah, I mean, definitely the sheep should look up when the dog is barking. So maybe Yoruba people don't use sheepdogs to herd their sheep. And I heard one guy talking.
There are dogs that are very intelligent, especially the German Shepherd.
Yeah,
these are very intelligent dogs. You know, I visited a friend in Kirserin. The friend, when I knocked at the door, the main gate, they opened the gate, and this huge dog, you know, barked, you know, and it was coming towards me. You know, and I was scared, Mr. Ade. I was very scared. I was like, okay. And what he said to the dog was, he said to the dog, stop. It stopped. And I said to him, bro, how about if this dog, happens to, bit me? I mean, he said, if it does, I will kill it. You know, it will never. As far as I've given it that command to stop, it will stop. And when he said stop, it halted. You know, and he said to the dog, move, and the dog went back to its
We had, growing up in Sierra Leone, we had a German Shepherd, and we used to call them police dogs, because the first people who had them in numbers in Sierra Leone were the police force. And so, because we got that, we got the training book from the police that they use for their dogs, and exactly what you have just recounted. You could say attack, and it would attack.
It attacked,
You could say stop, and it would stop. And so, you know.
I learned that I like that some of our police dogs, now they are joining our street dogs. The police dogs, those police dogs, they donated to our police. Now you meet them around Westfield looking for a child.
They are
seriously?
That's what I heard.
Well,
someone said they meet Bobby on the road.
You might have heard it, but they are so identifiable that you can hardly miss them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
You
they
can
said.
hardly miss them. So
They
that's a
said
very unlikely
Some
story.
roam around Jimpex. Nobody control them.
Yeah.
Some are roaming around the Canifing estate. Now the dogs are not eating properly. That's what I heard. Gambia Police Force
Well,
come and clarify.
you
They are
can't-
joining our local breed, the old model
Don't
dogs.
come and clarify. Come and arrest him for spreading false information. Never
But
mind
he said
clarify.
allegation. I mean,
Yeah,
they don't
you
have
know,
any grounds
you know,
to arrest him.
You know,
He already said
but
he
he's
has
spreading it. you
I
know.
asked. Someone said.
know.
But don't be surprised.
The
This
New
is the,
German
this is the
Shepherd dogs,
Gambia.
the
Anything
new
can
German
happen.
Shepherd dogs they gave to the Gambia Police Force, according to what I heard. It's an allegation.
You should ask them.
It's not something that is concrete. When I asked how about it, they said the dogs are now roaming Westfield looking for Chaya.
Ask them to take a picture.
You know, you don't be surprised you'll meet them at Serekunda Market near the meat stand. I mean,
I'm sure.
we've not been hearing anything about the dogs. They are roaming. So
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm sure they're
And they
roaming.
are German Shepherds. They are
Yeah.
now part of our old model dogs, the old model we have.
And when they back the sheep will look up. I'm sure. So my Yoruba people.
So let's move on. Let's move on. I don't even understand now. Yeah, so we'll take a short break.
Yeah.
Let's take a short break. We cool down because this we
We've
need to
given up
understand.
on our police
I know
dogs.
Caesar how will come and start clarifying about the dogs. Yeah, so we'll be right back.
And Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Mitoma.
Yeah,
Word
so
is
we are back. You're
born.
watching QTV this morning. Now let's head to the newspaper review. Julde, what papers do we have?
We have the Furoya Standard and Point, and on the Furoya, all Jabang drifters pledge
Plead guilty to
plead.
charges.
All Jabang drifters plead guilty to charges. Magistrate to deliver verdict on Wednesday.
Yes. So these were people who were arrested. If anybody outside of the Gambia hears the
Right.
word drifters, they don't know what it means. It's people
Spin.
who kind of drive recklessly. Some countries, the term is very inappropriate. They call them joy riders. It's nothing joyful about it.
Joyful about it.
Yeah. And there have been instances where people have been killed and injured.
Yeah.
And so these young men, it's usually young men, we haven't seen any female drifters, have we?
Right.
Young men go around speeding in very crowded places sometimes, as we heard, of course, outside of school, where there were pupils standing, and somebody got badly injured. So these lot have pleaded guilty, and let's see what sentence is handed down to them, because everybody will be watching this to see whether it's going to be a stiff sentence that acts as a deterrent. And if it isn't, then people will say, well, we're not serious. But the law can only hand out a sentence that the law allows. So
True.
that is something. I'm not sure how much leeway the magistrate has to hand down a stiff sentence, but we'll see. And if it's a pocket money sentence, then people will just they're not serious. And of course, the ones who are drifting will carry on drifting.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Bursubi drifter who left Dakar there, that hit the Nawek pool, has been, the verdict has already been given in Bursubi, I think 4 months.
Okay.
So he has been
Right.
sentenced to 4 months in prison.
We don't do hard labor anymore.
We don't.
Isn't that a pity? 4 months hard labor would be the appropriate sentence. Can we introduce hard labor back into our penal code? Because we kicked it out because we thought it was, dehumanizing and so on, which of course it is, but, I'm only joking. But to me, 4 months is, okay, sentence that
Yeah.
might make somebody reflect on
Right.
their behavior.
It can make you think. I mean,
Yeah.
how about if this was 10 years? what would have happened. You know, sitting at one place for 4 months, you know, can be very crazy, can be very hard for some people, especially
young people.
I'm not going to say people with responsibilities, because when you are responsible, you won't be doing such kind of stuff, playing with vehicles. You know, and imagine the type of vehicle they use. I mean, for doing this spinning, you know, it's not even the right vehicle. I mean, to use. That's why for people like me,
there's a right vehicle.
Well, there are special vehicles that are made for this type of sport thing.
When it's a sport, like kind of drag racing.
Yeah, that's why now even you are even scared to even send even your brother to the highway to go and pick something for you with your vehicle. Or that you might think, okay, he might go pick his friends and they start spinning with my vehicle. Next minute I have to change my ball joints, or I have to change my SAF, or all those things. And these are very expensive.
You have
now
to change your car if it crashes, you know.
So
yeah.
I mean that is what it is. But I mean, let's see what will happen. Some are saying the government should provide a space for these drifters. Is that a wise idea?
I'm not sure it's a space for drifters. I mean, there are places where they have like what they call drag racing tracks in America particularly. They have some in Europe as well, where this kind of activity takes place. It's an enclosed space. But these guys, they want to do it in public. They want to have people screaming and shouting and celebrating. They might think that's a bit boring if you go and give them a spot. You know, that's not what it's all about. It's doing it on public highways. That's the thrill for them, sadly, you know. Not so thrilling for us, but for them that's what it's about. Yeah.
A colleague told me yesterday that who is residing in along Caraba Avenue told me that now they used to do it around Afrisel. When it is around 2 a.m., that is the time they do it. And they have a lot of crowd, people coming to cheer them up. And I was like, really? 2 a.m.? And she was like, yeah. And all these days, I find it very difficult to
So
sleep.
your colleague knows about it, but the police don't. That's interesting.
It is.
Like they have a regular spinning or drifting spot and the police don't know? Come on. That's pretty bad.
It is.
You know. Yeah, but so and it is actually mentioned in another paper, The Standard, just very quickly. 5 Jaban car drifters found guilty. I think that's the one you were talking about.
So, man charged for possession of restricted medicines.
Yeah, still on the Foroya?
On the Foroya newspaper.
Yeah. I hope we'll have time for some of the big stories, like Abdullah Sanga arrested at airport.
Mr. Aridrame, you know what?
With all due respect.
You know what surprised me?
Yeah.
It's easy to buy medicines in the Gambia. I mean,
as I've said on this program,
you just go to the drugstore or the pharmacy and tell them, this is what I want.
My head
is killing me.
My teeth, my this, my that.
In fact, the
people
patient
hardly go to the doctor.
The patient himself is the one who will prescribe the medication for himself. He'll be like, I know what is paining me. The way I'm feeling, I know it's malaria. So
it's very easy, and I've mentioned it.
I am guilty. I am also guilty.
Many of us are.
I'm also guilty.
When I had a mild toothache, I just went down because I kind of knew what the thing was. But many people here don't even know that they've never been to a doctor. They'll go to a pharmacy and they say, what's your problem? And you tell them, they say, you want this one, you know, and like, what's the cheap one? What, you know, so it's like you have all that kind of negotiation going on. You don't buy probably the best, you buy the cheapest because that's what your pocket can handle. So it's not always.
And we've abused Quatem so much. You know, have you taken the Quatem drug before?
I have no idea what Quatem is.
Quatem is a medication for malaria.
I had a feeling you'd say that. And you know, in fact, as you said it, I got this shiver because I've never taken anti-malaria stuff and I've never gotten it in any major way. So I don't want to bring bad luck on myself. But honestly, in all my how many years now.
We pray for you not to have malaria.
Yeah, you know, I remember when we were small, they used to give us all that stuff. But since I became an adult, I've never, you know, but Quatem is...
But you must know Quatem. Who don't know Quatem?
It sounds like something that everybody might know here.
In the Gambia.
But then again, lots of people don't know.
But it's a very effective medication. When you have malaria, and when you take Quatem, the full dose, I mean, by the time you finish the dose, you are okay.
Mr. Balde, I you know, I don't mean to be boring, but we got some really interesting stories, and we're talking about Kwatem. So can we get on to the stories?
It's our problem. It's a
You know,
societal problem.
Julian.
So we need to talk about it.
Hit
Is
us.
it Pura
Yeah,
moves
right.
to protect consumer, stabilize telecom sector?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. This
It
kind of
is.
thing is leaked.
Yes.
And yet, when you go on the Pura page, I can't find it on their website. Can't find it on their Facebook page. Last thing on their Facebook page was 6th of August, and today is what, 19th? But everybody seems to know about it, and even the newspaper quote from it. So one of the newspapers quotes from it. It says, Pura announces temporary floor price to mobile data. I haven't seen it anywhere official from them. So where's everybody getting this from? Pura, up your game, please. Put it on your website, put it on your Facebook page. As I came to this program this morning, I checked, because people kept saying, are you going to do a story about it? I'm like, a story about what? I haven't seen anything official. Right? Well, obviously the newspaper claimed they've seen something, because it says Pura announces. So Pura, maybe you need to come on this morning, tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think Gabo might be busy on TikTok.
You know.
They might not
But yeah, so
posting
that's,
this
you
thing.
have that one. So yeah, anything else?
Ex-soldier
yes.
Abdullah Sanyang arrested at airport.
Yeah.
We carried that last time.
He did an interview that was so long it was broken into 3 parts with Peter Gomez on Coffee Time, and I watched it all in the interest of news gathering, and he made various allegations, and for those allegations he has been arrested. I don't know what his status is as of today. But he was, and in fact Peter did kind of joke with him on the program that you know, are they going to allow you out of the country with these allegations? They're quite serious allegations, and you know, he mentions all sorts of things, saying I have the evidence. Well, and when the time comes, I will reveal it. Well, I think once you've been arrested, that might be the time to reveal your evidence.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I hear this nonsense all the time.
Yeah.
You know, all these kind of conspiracy theories. Well, he'll have to be as good as his word now.
Well, according to him, the 2021 election was rigged. I mean, what will this do? I mean, to the government of Adama Barrow? What is going to be the effects?
Or that one guy alleges it was rigged. I mean, mind you, he's not the only one. I mean, I have some of my UDP friends, and we've had this argument, you know, and I'm like, you know what? Your flag bearer is a lawyer. Lawyers believe in evidence. If you have the evidence that it was rigged, bring it to the proper, you know, authorities who are meant to investigate election malpractice. Otherwise, shut up about it. And I mean shut up about it, because it's a thing that's been going on since the election, and they have not brought a shred of evidence. And I've said this on this program again before. This guy, amongst the other things he alleges, is that, you know, they got people who are non-Gambians to vote.
Yeah.
Do you know how many non-Gambians would need to vote to sway an election? Tens or 20s of thousands you're talking about. Are they really that number of illegal people that are given that? It's idiotic.
For other serious nations, what they will do, first they'll take him to the psychiatric hospital to check if his 5 and 5
it's not that.
equals
It's
to
not
10.
that. When people believe some conspiracy theories, it's not because they're mad. It's because deep down they believe them.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, if you make allegations that are this serious and you claim you have the evidence, well, bring it.
Probably too, it's a strategy, because at some point he's in Switzerland due to with the belief that it's an asylum seeker or something.
You can't be an asylum seeker and you're in the Gambia. Asylum seeker from where?
Maybe they he wants to create this noise. I
Maybe.
mean, for there to be a lot of benefits for him.
Maybe.
Benefit? I don't see anything benefiting
It's
him
not
here now
benefiting.
that
Right
he's
now,
arrested.
he's not, you know, because they are serious allegations. And, you know, the way he spoke, even claiming that he was responsible for ECOMIC coming here.
So is he arrested?
He's arrested and detained.
Okay, he said he was here to make sure Barrow stepped down. So
You know,
When I listened to his interview, his first interview at the airport.
Did you listen to all of it?
No, I listened to when he was coming.
Okay, right.
When he just landed, they interviewed him at the airport, and he said he was the one that was part of the people that Osa Diajame out. So they are here now to Osa Adam Barrow out.
Yeah, I know.
Now he's arrested.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he will bring all this evidence, and the government will come crumbling down. But somehow I doubt it. But
it will be interesting to know.
What next? What else do we have?
Another interesting one. WAEC not commenting on withheld WAS results pending investigations.
And I think this is one that our colleague Ibrahim Balde is interested in, not because he sat for any WASC exams, but he knows somebody who did and who.
You know me, when you talk about WASC, my mathematics still pain me.
With this. One day,
you know, I got F9.
One day
yes,
will come.
my math still pain me. It's still hot.
Well, you can go back and retake it.
Yeah.
Now that you know, just to get the satisfaction.
My mathematics still hot me.
Like I said, go back and
I think
retake.
it's circling of the objective.
You know, that's what did you, eh?
Is the objective.
That's
the
what
theory was correct. But my objective, I was just guessing. The only thing that I hate about my result is my mathematics.
Okay.
You can always redo it.
You know, because I can see it's still painful.
It's still paining me. When I think about results, the maths pain me.
Ask them if you can retake just the maths paper, you know, and
Mr. Ade, can you imagine? I got
F9.
I got 8 credits and 1 fail.
That's
it's
painful.
still hot.
It will hurt. It will hurt. It will hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we have time for something else? Janet Commission branded puppet of Justice Ministry.
Yeah, we ran the story.
They had Madam Saar, who appeared before she was the former secretary to the commission, and I think part of why the claim was that she still sat within the Justice Ministry even when she was meant to be you know, the secretary to the commission.
Yeah,
and also I watched her testimony and we did a story on it. There was a point where I felt sorry for her, and I'm not being patronizing, and I didn't think they were being particularly hard on her necessarily, but there were lots of questions she was asked that, you know, she couldn't answer, couldn't remember. And there was one point when the lead counsel said to her, but this was the biggest job you'd ever got in your life. How come you can't remember the date of your appointment? You know, she had to look at the letter. I can actually remember the date of my first job when I was no longer a student. You know, I left university, my first paying job, 27th of June, 1977. There are certain dates that stick in your mind, you know, but she couldn't remember. You know, various dates, and you know, there were times when, you know, she would say, I have to refer to the papers and so on. It didn't give a particularly good impression, and she gave testimony quite long into the evening, actually. I don't know whether she's continuing today. I'll check when I go back up. But this was part of the local government commission, the Janet Commission, the select committee, I beg your pardon, select committee into the Janet Commission, and what happened with the sale and disposal of ex-presidents' seized assets. And so, yeah, what we've heard so far and seen so far, not a good look. UDP calls for maximum fines, custodial sentences for drifters, sentencing for drifters, and it's got Hussein Odabo's picture there.
Interesting.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, ex-soldier arrested over claims of assassination plot against Barrow. What do we have?
Is it Salam CEO declares intention to run for GCCI presidency?
Yes, is that? Yes. There's also UDP aspirant on another one.
Is it the Salam Cement CEO?
Say again? Yes.
Salam Cement CEO.
Yeah, quite. Yes. Intention to run for GCCI presidency.
Okay.
And there's one which I found very interesting because it's a very slightly unusual one. Japanese Prime Minister tips 2025 as the year of Africa. How many times have we heard that? Why is it the year of Africa?
Oh yeah, on the Point newspaper.
This is Point newspaper, far right column. It's my eye was drawn to it.
A year of
Why is
the
that
year
so?
of
Year
Africa.
of Africa. why not the decade of Africa? But yeah, it would be interesting to know why he said this and what he means by it. I mean, we can see now, for example, Trump is claiming that one of the reasons why he wanted there to be peace between the M23 rebels in DR Congo and Rwanda is because there are great mining opportunities in DRC that he wants American companies to benefit from. So that kind of thing, maybe this is the sort of thing. But, you know, we've been here before. We have countries that have oil, they have gold, they have diamonds. Have we benefited from them?
Well, you know, sometimes it surprises me. Why do we allow countries like America, you know, Europe, to decide when are we going to make peace in our nations, you know, to try to, okay, stop certain wars that are happening? DR Congo, you're talking about.
Quite. Why when the African Union spoke to them, why didn't they stop?
Why do they have that influence?
It's
Why?
inferiority complex. Because when the African Union were telling Rwanda and DRC to stop, they didn't stop. But when Trump sends his envoy there, they think, yeah, okay, we'll stop.
Why?
It's, like I said, inferiority complex. Because you're right, you know, we've been trying to stop these wars for the longest time. But, you know, nobody's listening. When it's African to African, but when these so-called big powers come in, they're prepared to listen to them, and it's quite sad, really, sad state of affairs. But yeah, but it looks like, although as I was coming in this morning, there was talk that that particular peace deal looks like it might break down because, you know, one side or the other is not agreeing to certain conditions. So we wait and see. But for the moment, they've kind of laid down their arms. There's been very little killing or displacement of people in the last 4 or 5 weeks, which has been good because it's been constant. I mean, Congo, DRC is like a cursed country since independence, really. They had Mobutu Sese Seko for all those years and just been complete. There are countries that when you think about, when they mention the names of the country, the mental picture you have is more of a war zone. Yeah, complete instability, constant instability. And yet there are areas of Congo where, you know, people live and they're not even aware. Well, they're aware, but, you know, they're not touched by the war at all. And, you know, you go and you see these places very glamorous and so on. I think, is this really DRC? I mean, I have a friend who's been trying to get me to go there. He's actually in real estate, and he was showing me all the houses that they've been selling to all these kind of returnee Congolese, and you wouldn't believe I was in Congo. Fantastic houses, and he said the war doesn't even touch. And you think it's safe to go and buy a property there? These people, these people have been living there. That guy's been there for 15 years now. He's been there for 15 years. Somalia, some parts of Somalia. Yeah, and parts of Somalia. Yeah, so you have, you know, I think, but like you rightly say, when you have a mental picture of certain countries, you think it's kind of constant. But it's not always that way. It's not always that way. Yeah, so that is what it is, Mr. Adibaba. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm glad we got to look at some of there's one I wanted, but too late. UDP flag bearer aspirant queries application process. Interesting one. We might deal with it at another time. Yeah. All right, so viewers will take a short break. After the break, then we'll engage the Bakers Union of the Gambia on successes and challenges. Of course, they've also visited their counterparts in Dakar, so we will be engaging them on some of the things that are achieved and what is the purpose of their visit. So Mr. Lamin Diba will be here, the Secretary General, Bakers Union, and Ahmad Tijan Jallo, President, Bakers Union of the Gambia. We hope they brought samples of their products for us to eat. Breads. Otherwise, they can go right back. Absolutely, yes. So Bakers Union cannot come here without bread. At all. Yes. So we'll be right back after the break.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using Q-Money Wallet absolutely free up to $30,000 C's? Use our app or dial 323# and select Q Power. Choose Register Meter. Enter your meter number. dial *323# and follow these simple steps. Number 1. Select option 3 for Q Power. Number 2. Choose option 1 to buy any amount of Q Power. Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalbe.
Hi there, my name is Nuruddin Adams, a proud product of this noble institution. Heritage Christian University is not just a learning place, but a community that transforms lives and empowers its students to become compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. My journey here has truly been life-changing, and I invite you to come experience the same. Whether your passion is into business, nursing, midwifery, psychology, communication studies, multimedia technology, information technology, or theology and ministry, Heritage has tailored these programs for both the undergraduate and graduate studies to suit your goal. If you're ever ready to take your education to the next level, then pick up an application form and join us today. At Heritage, you are never alone. As members of the community, we'll stand and work with you every step of the way. Welcome to Heritage Christian University.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
We're back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. Now let's head to the third segment of this program. We have the Bakers Union of the Gambia, and we'll take a look at successes and challenges, as far as their job is concerned. We have Mr. Lamin Diba, Secretary General, Bakers Union, and Ahmad Tijan Jallo, President, Bakers Union. They've also recently visited Dakar, to see how their counterparts are doing and some of the achievements, what have they used. They also exchange what we call ideas as to Gambia-Senegal collaboration as far as baking is concerned. Gentlemen, welcome to QTV this morning. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much, my brother, like I will always say, Balde, for having us here, and Gilde as well, for always having me here. But today, the beautiful thing is you don't say Bakers Union, you're in the late.
Wow. Telling you. Yeah, so Julde, I think we need to engage them on some of the... Okay, first, what have you people got? I mean, what is the latest? What's happening? What's going on?
Yes, the latest is, like I've said previously on our last interview on air, talking about the price of bread was one of the toughest decisions. But implementing, monitoring, and also following some of the realities are still the biggest things that we have an obligation of, that is as the union, because we said $12 is with a weight. And we said this, and the population and the consumers also, before even announcement, there were statements that were clearly said, which put the National Bakers Union to task and the government to task. Yes, you will give this particular amount to the bakeries. You will give it to the bakery owners. You will give it to the Bakers Union. But what will happen is, at a particular time, you will see a significant changes. 1 week, 2 weeks, everything will go down. And the population that we are serving, the value that they are putting into what they are eating, of course, like they will always say, when it comes to the consumer protection, they don't have to be all the time cheated. Like the footage you are seeing currently is breads that have been seized at different operational areas because they don't meet the quality, they don't meet the standard weight that is agreed. So currently, the union and the Weights and Measures Department, Ministry of Trade as well, we are going through a process to make sure what is said, it's in the field, no matter the challenges. Currently, we have a debate along one thing where that is 160, 190 before or after baking, where the technicalities are in play, where our technicians understand it this way and it is interpreted that way. So compromising that, but also giving the community and also the consumers what they deserve is where we have few challenges. And the Bakers Union, at all areas across the nation, of course, we are not also taking it just light to say people will just do whatsoever they want and go like that. Like you said, when it comes to challenges specifically, there are things that are currently challenged where people will say, okay, I am baking bread and I will want to sell it $10, but that $10, are you going up with the weight? Like we've agreed in all our engagements. If you want, sell bread as low as $5 is for the public. We are very happy with that. But the recommended weight, no matter what it takes, should be adhered to. So as we go through crisscrossing across the length and breadth of the country, monitoring it also, trying to see at different areas why some of these challenges are still limited, we've come up with a lot of things. Like yesterday when we had a meeting at the Standards Bureau, these were the things that we are also following up with, where the capacity gap that we have been seeing well before. Okay, bakers definitely will do what is necessary, but what is also to be, to make sure we all get up to this particular standard, is what we still have as a strategic thing to completely follow.
Capacity gaps in what sense?
Capacity gaps, like I said, when it comes to the bakeries, most of them practice this trade by apprenticeship. If you go even to Saint Food shops right now, in the country here, you can count the number of bakeries that have dividers, where you can just punch 150 grams and the machine will give you that exact across from 1 to 99. Okay, most of them, they use their hands, and what we do is we took the leadership to provide them with skills, and skills that will be there for them to completely weigh as agreed. So we have gone through all these processes, but to tell you the truth, even at the executive level and at the union level, we are not definitely still satisfied with what is happening, because we have challenges at both sides. When I am on the direct visit, myself and him, we'll just stop any supplier or at a shop. The scales are always in our cars. If we drop it down, it is at a particular weight. We do what is supposed to be done, first advice. But when it comes to a stage now, both from the Weights and Measures Department at the union also, we are in discussions at higher GS to make sure this thing is enforced to the latter, but also where there are misunderstanding with before and after is also adequately addressed, where the population will not continue to be cheated by different bakers who will say, okay, I want to do $10. You are supplying it $10, but if you go to the shop, they are selling to you at $12. And also the unfortunate thing here, the intention that the Bakers Union have, that people still misunderstood, is what we want is bread to be available at a particular quality and standard that is affordable and healthy for the population. But the population and some players are taking more advantage. For example, when we have $2 is on bread, okay, who was selling bread and mayonnaise or bread and cheese for $10 is put $15 is automatic. The person who was selling bread with beans was selling it 25, now is putting it 35 straight. The person who was selling bread with steak for 45 is putting it $60. So some of these realities that are in play is all coming back to the bakery union. What is happening is, if we want to put bread at a particular standard, but all the components, people are putting more cost, even more than the bakery union itself. So that is a big challenge. Okay, where we are telling people, go to the bakeries, you can have bread at this particular amount that is said. What is still stopping you to go and access bread to that price? For example, if I'm giving it to you to take it to a shop that is apart, you will put what you have to put. So those margins that are coming is not directly coming to the bakery union or the members. So when we said a loaf of bread is $10 is at the bakery, when you go, you will always have it $10 is. But the person who is selling the bread to you at $12 is at the shop, obviously is putting a margin. The person supplying it is putting a margin. So these margins that are inflated at a point, but the consumers are the ones affected 100%. These are what even now we are technically trying to engage to close those gaps. Where you can directly have it from the bakeries, you are happy, you are having it at $10. But if it is the other way around, there are still challenges. So coming to the ways and things that we've used to also...
so before you move on, you're telling me the suppliers are the ones increasing the price?
Not the suppliers increasing the price. For example, if the bread is $10 is at the bakery, that is retail.
$10.
At wholesale, when you want 12 breads, you will still have it for 120. If it is supplied to the shop, the supply line and the shopkeepers, automatically the $12 is in play between those two. I don't know whether you understand. That's why we are advocating not to cut the supply line, but for people to also take some responsibilities to come to the bakeries to access bread. They will always have the best quality and they will have it in the appropriate standards. The shopkeepers, obviously, they are not taking the bread just for taking sake as well. If you take, they will ask how much they are having. The suppliers as well. So we want to put a system in a way that both the government and the union will take still responsibilities that we have taken to protect the consumers, so that there will not be that much bigger lines where the cost will be in play between those two gaps where it is not directly from the direct source. So today, if you want to make it easy, go to the bakeries, you have it. But conveniently, if you think you are not that much close to a bakery, like the model we find in Senegal, that have prompted something. The reason why there are acceptable distance for bakeries, every 300 meters, at least let a bakery be between bakery and bakery. The objective is to make bakeries as close as possible to its consumers, where you will always have bread fresh, and there will be not that much line where other cross-contamination and other factors will be in play. But as long as we are not yet into that line, like I said, and like we said at the Standards Bureau, we cannot promptly just stop certain things where the population will be the one to face the consequences. But we are very aware of the challenges in play, why some things are happening currently. But technically, both at the union level and at the ministry level, I think from the last time that we had an engagement was when we are trying to review the bread policy that is in draft. Some of these things we are discussing and will continue to discuss as we transition to that level.
So coming to Mr. Jallo, Mr. Diba did mention that they are really finding it very, very difficult to actually enforce some of these things. Don't you think that the decision...
Can he do what?
Yes, he can.
Okay. The question in what?
Okay, just...
So, don't you think that the decision to actually increase the prices of bread in the first place has been rushed by the union and the government of the Gambia, for the fact that you don't have any strategy or regulatory frameworks in place to ensure that people comply with some of these things?
Yeah, before the president come in, you've touched two important things, that is regulation. When it comes to bread, there is only one thing that was not available, that is the national bread regulation, which is going to be a document in process. But there are regulations that are with regards to standards, that is the Standards Bureau have regulations, they have standards, they also have documents that guide every line of production, including the way bread should be handled from one level to another. The Food Safety and Regulatory Authorities also have regulations, which is an act which has all components. The National Bakers Union and the government, this thing, like I always say in interview, it was long overdue. It's a sector that is left just alone on its own because it was separate players. Some of these realities, we could have passed this long ago as a country. But better late than never. The realities are some of these documents are in place, but they were not completely enforced. Coming to the Weights and Measures Act and other things.
What are you going to do differently to ensure that now they are enforced?
The regulations that already exist with Food Safety and Standard Bureau are there. Now the regulation for bread, which capture this particular essential commodity as generally, where from the supply line, from the handling, from the production, and even weights and measures, and the way it will be, even the personnel itself. This is the document that is developed currently, that we are still developing. We've revised it at our area. The gaps we have found, we have written back to make sure those gaps are adequately captured, to make the document more holistic, putting in place the strategies that are in other countries to capture the Gambia to another level. So as long as there were no policies or regulations for bread, these gaps exist. And to close those gaps, that's why the government, the Bakers Union, and all other crucial stakeholders currently are in high gears to make sure these things are developed and gone through the right processes with the right partners, then taken to the Ministry of Justice, from there then gazetted at the National Assembly. So these are things that, as a country, like I said all the time, even at the meeting, the Gambia cannot just continue to be the way it has been all throughout, particularly when it comes to certain things that really we have to take responsibilities of.
Okay.
If we come to other components where our visits and other things that happen, we'll touch that. I will give it back to the President.
Mr. Jaro, jërëjëf bëggoon nañ ngeen indi ay yaatal si Bakers Union bi si fuñ toolu ndaxte ñu bëri wone nañ ne ok ñi wax nañ ne dañoo yokka price bi yokka nañ mburu bi waaye léegi gis nañ tam mburu bi mu ngi tuuti you know te loolu dëgg la man sax jënd naa ay mburu yoo xam ne xam naa ne digga mburu bii moom dafa tuuti ba léegi it's still the same thing waaye price bi yokka nañ ko
te wàllum set bi si boppam.
Thank you very much jërëjëf asalaamaaleykum si mbooloo mi and then askan bu nekk di déglu by this time so lu nekk di wax comme yaatul foofu noonu xam nga the very day buñ increase the price of bread if you notice it that very day fuel price increase it goes simultaneously but people were so focused on the price of bread so components yu nekk di wax soo gisee always bakery owners yi and then the union with their members are saying it and emphasizing it and then we are making people to aware because tey doo mën a wax ne ok yokka nga mburu doo ko mën a yokka every day du mën a nekk a cycle that you know that you can do it 1 year 2 years you get back to it that's why we need to build a system with the government so cost production bi lii ni materials yi yooyu doolu yëpp dem nañ around the country collect nañ data bi the data is there with them and right now suñ toogee sax pour nar koo review sax da ngaa gis ne many of those things have changed but we need to come with a certain percentage boo xamante ni su naree yokku ba to this percentage with all the products lii nii bi overhead costs and everything then we need to go to the next level understand waaye duñ mën a toog rek ok mburu yokka na at that very moment soo xoolee the calculation what was done luñ def soo xoolee loolu by that time mun naa nekk $12 at a reasonable price whereby everybody will go te loolu pour bakers yi ñu mun a génn si pax bi because for 6 years yooyu yaa ngi nekk in that place at the same time all the cost that is surrounding you it is inflated te ñu yëpp xam ne loolu dëgg bi ñu yëpp ñu ko gis so with all that thing we are not taking a back seat on that saying okay yokka neen mburu we have to relax or no we have to continue the process because it's a process so challenge muñ am foofu noonu yaa ngi gis ne comme léegi fu mu ne nii level yokka na and then in certain areas fu mu ne nii ñu ngi gis the quality of the flour also te we have put it to the notice we have noticed it to the authorities for them then know that ñii dañ war a def lii
quality of flour farine bi
dafa drop down because ñu gis ne loolu te complaints yi ñu ngi ñëw from
waral loolu ndax da ngeen fa def gestu pour xam
we will make a thorough investigation about it pour ñu mun a xam what is the cause lan la ak naka lam fa demee we will engage the rightful authorities people like food safety they are the one responsible so moo tax nekku ne union bi dafa ñëw rek yokka xam nga Gambia fi one thing we should understand in this industry it's not about weight and price
only
it's not about that weight and price it have to commensurate we need to have a baseline
that's right
because tey soo xoolee poti sukur su ne poti sukur yokka na kenn du demati di wax ndax poti sukur bi dañuy yokka poti sukur boobu noonu weights and measures knows everything calibration bi at the fuel pump doo dem ñu ne ok fuel yokka na waaye yokka ne litre bi tamit yokka ne léegi is 1 litre something it doesn't add up so soo gisee si mburu bi loolu noonu dañ fekkoon système bi nu mel foog ñu put a baseline waaye technicalité bu ñu am foofu noonu conflict bi our people understand it yow doo mun a lii ni mburu doo ko mun a peese after baking is before baking nga wéet nga xam ne ok wéet bi laa war a def nga lakka soo lakkee dafa lose weight di moom mburu soo jënee mburu yow sa boppa nga teg ko sa néeg di moo ngay observe mu ngi lose weight
waaye xam nga da ngeen ñu waxoon ne fii
ok just
dañoo yokka size bi waxoon
yeah that's exactly what happened understand waaye the scientific foofu noonu yooyu noonu we will engage with the authorities to rectify that portion
nga ñëw si comme lu mu wax lu ñu waxoon démba comme lu ma dee wax fu nekk si loolu lañ taxaw tey
of course
suñ ne mburu yokku na man ak yow we are all consumers at a particular point doo mun a yokka mburu even dalasi soo ko yokkee of course kuy yokka dalasi si mburu bi war naa gis ne dalasi yokku na si lii lu tax may yokka dalasi comme challenge bi loo nekk di wax ni dañ ne dañ koy yokka bu mu yokkee dafa war a méngoo ak poids bi technically what you people are seeing in play comme loolu nekk di gis mooy ñun yëpp including man suma boppa waaye man Amatijaan mu may wax ne man de damay jaay mburu $10 ba léegi because dama bëgg a dimbale askan bi askan bu nga nekk di follow mental thing bu nekk foofu noonu mburu dañ ko yokka $2 mburu bi kii nu mun di defar mu ne moom $10 la koy jaay yow wéet bi ngay xool bon léegi yow duma mun a wane yaa ngi defar mburu $10 nga bugg a koy jaay $10 kenn waxut na bu ko jaay $10 bon ñun yëpp luñ agree ne ok poids bi la war a am pour population bi ku ko gis dafa war a xam ne lees this weight mu ngi fa so if people are playing down with that ñun we are aware of that te ñu ngi koy put to authorities the population man ak yow yëpp we are within the population duñ mun a am mburu bu nga xam ne luñ wax nekkul loolu foofu noonu ñun ba léegi ñu toog seetaan loolu like ñu play still like dara happen loolu tax when I said responsibility buñ am ba léegi buñ doon dem through a process pour yokkal li dañ toog ak askan bi wax dañ toog ak njiit yi wax dañ toog ak ministre bi wax dañ toog ak suñ réew ñu wax suñ demee ba nekka foofu noonu population bi tamit lu ñu nekka di wax mooy seen gars yi yokka ngeen mburu waaye fu mu nekka ni ñu ngi ñooy ciit 1 week 2 weeks 3 weeks maa ngi gis normal mburu lu tax léegi nekkatuma di gis mburu ñun xam nañ waaye ñu ngi koy follow up government xam na waaye that is why right now nu mu mun di mel yeneen pictures yoo doon gis fii si gannaaw truck si gannaaw pick up yeah it is a team that is on the ground from the weights and measures department where they are quoting from clauses and things that actually happen and some of those things that are gone below the acceptable standard ñu ngi koy seize okay up and down
ñaata bakeries ngeen found wanting the people and started
buñ started up to now I think it's more than 8 to 9 bakeries am na bakeries yu nga xam ne every day for example suñ demee tey dinañ ko address nga demaat back after 2-3 weeks you will find them in conformity with the weight nga demaat nga fekka down so those people and the way it is happening there are measures that are already taken so where the conflict is currently is before and after but to say dañoo play down with the weight at the union we still will take responsibilities that we will
bakeries yooyu noonu yoo xam ne daal they have found one thing gis ngeen ne they are not really compliant they are not in compliance with the acceptable standards what do you do then so siisee breads yooyu noonu and then nga go back to that same bakery and realize that they are still violating what do you do
yeah the legal department of the metrology department for weights and measures they are currently acting on a law and within that there are categories su ma ñëwee tey first dama lay wax ne ok mburu bi de tey loolu liggéey baax na ëllëg ma ñëw ma gis ne you are not within the acceptable range maybe plus or minus ma ne la ok tey de ñëw naa fekka na lii mu ngi nii bot maa ngi laa woon ëllëg su ma ñëwee ma ko fi fekka su ma ñëwee ëllëg fekka na is below lu ñoo def mooy dañ koy jël
noo leen di jël
mburu wi la ñoo jël according to the way it is in the document the breads that are there that doesn't meet the standards will be confiscated it will be taken you will sign this particular mburu si man meet these standards jël nañ ko si man te yow soo signé ñoom ñooy def décision ne dañ koy yóbbu si daara waaye suñ ñëwaatee again and again the same person mu mel noonu am na yeneen lu nekk si luwaa boobu waya fines mu ngi fa mandatory fines mu ngi fa fine mu ngi fa and even with jail terms
ñaata
yeah we have between 5,000 25,000 50,000 and where at a point sax dinañ la mun a fine 50,000 including a 6 to 1 year prison term yooyu noonu yëpp mu ngi fa so nu mel nii is like the bakers union the authorities that are also trying to implement this we want to make sure they understand these realities all these documents were there but kenn si bakers yi nekkuñ fa ku nga xam ne they were informed educated around this and ignorance of the law is not an excuse but now the bakers union and these authorities are coming up with a particular program to make sure let people know lii comme nu ma ko dee waxee du continuer comme nu meloon before da ngay def rek mu demee noonu.
ban façon programme la noonu.
to bring them together, teach them along with these regulations, with these acts, with the penalties. Man, if you are making a law for me, obviously I have to know what it is, and in the process, war naa nekk in the development process. waaye su fekkee réew mi moo ko defar is still binding to all of us waaye si kuñ koy teg ñoom tamit am nañ droit tamit ñu toog ñu xam ne loi bii ak loi bii ak loi bii lii ak lii la wax te lii si kaw secteur bi la nekk yow soo defee lii moo fa nekk soo deful lii moo fa nekk loolu noonu waxtaan nañ ak ñoom and we will take a process across the country to fix a system, to correct a system, particularly in this particular era, in the sector of bread lu fa nekkut ñun ak ñoom yëpp am nañ that obligation to fulfill for the bakers. From there, weights and measures and quality and standards in this country, I can tell you it's going to be history. But the population am na stake du waxaat man lu ma waxoon fii yëpp su ma toogee si media bi again dama ko dee mën a reflect. We don't just say and go and sleep.
But the same issues are happening all over again.
loolu moo nekkoon problème bi de.
You know, in this aspect, let's take the realities the way it is.
Yeah.
Because tey yow doo mën a defar loi nga jox ma ko nga ne man nga defaral loi. I don't know nothing about that law. So su dee maa ngi on the wrong side of the law, how can you wake me up and then let me know? Sector B, it was dormant, one can say. People were just working, surviving, using it as a survival. So suñ ko naree lift from that point to the next point, foog ñu jaar a process. Méti bi am na. Because neexut yow nga jël sa farine def everything because of lack na wait boo xamante ni we agreed in. Government dafa war a bàyyi xel. ñun dañ jël a full 1 year negotiate with them. ñëwul rek jump into the system, okay taxaw leen liggéey wala def leen lii wala def leen li, just a rough work. ñoom tamit when they are coming back to implement those things, they need to pass through the normal protocols. Engage the union, we engage our structures, they go there, sensitize them, make them understand this is what is about to happen. They give them a grace period.
Thank you. Mr. Jallow, xam naa ne time bi moom fu ñu nekk lifin na waaye time bi jeex na tak. In fact dugga nañ ci beneen time sax ngeen jégal ñu de. waaye bugga nañ ngeen dem ngeen sensitize seen members yi ba pare ngeen ñëwaat. You know Mr. Diba dinañ leen joxaat another time ñu mun a ñëw ñu lifin waaye dañ bugga rek ting si mu fair xam nga ñu ngi génnee xaalis di jënda waaye bugga na ñëw loolu tam mu reflect understand nga you know so thank you Mr. Diba for coming. Mr. Jallow thank you very much. Buggoon nañ ñoo gën a yaatal waxtaani seen visite bi to Dakar ak MOU buñ sign ak yooyu noonu waaye xam naa dinañ ko defaat in due course su soobee yàlla. Waaw thank you gentlemen. So Julde, this is all we have for today.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be back here again tomorrow,
Inshallah,
for another segment. Until we come here again, bye-bye.